winds in the area of 50 plus, with obviously gusting up near about 100 at different times throughout our area.
Chief, when you talk about this type of storm and hurricane hitting this area, what are you most concerned about? Is your force able to respond when you get calls about fire issues?
We are not able to respond at the moment based upon the fact that we are very close to the eye wall and we're receiving several continuous bands of not only heavy rain but obviously significant winds. Once the winds reach 45 miles per hour, we do pull the fire apparatus off of the roads. We do continue to be updated from our dispatch center as to any priority calls for service, and we take those on a case-by-case basis. And we have, since we had to shut the crews down approximately 7 o'clock this morning, we have had to go out to several incidents to be able to effect a rescue in the highest priority incidents. But we still have many other calls that will be waiting for the winds to subside before we're able to answer those less urgent calls.
And Chief, in dangerous conditions like these, you would think that people would be smart enough to stay inside and know to stay inside. I understand you have a curfew now in place?
I'm not aware of the curfew component. Obviously, our mission in the fire rescue service is to take care of life safety issues. Our greatest concern, obviously, is getting to the threshold of the wind. And then once the eye passes by our area, which is expected over us in the next hour, then the secondary threat is going to be the flood surge component that we expect to come after the eye passes our area.
So aside from the curfew, what's your best advice for people who may be wanting to get out in this? Because we've seen the videos, the tweets, you name it, people still trying to get out in this weather.
We urge people, obviously, to not only not go out in the weather now, but even after the storm subsides. Obviously, we have a significant amount of tropical storm force winds that are going to follow the hurricane force winds that we're in right now. Obviously, the power lines down, tree limbs, debris, etc. We would really ask the public to not leave their shelters. They should remain in place, not only through the tropical storm force winds, but allow first responders to get out, do some good assessment of our community, be able to work with our partners in the utility companies and the sheriff's office, and obviously emergency management to make sure our community is safe to be able to actually commute. So we would ask people to continue to shelter in place, and then once the storm subsides, not to jump in their vehicles and start driving on the roads, causing congestion, as we do anticipate having an extreme need for many resources, and we've already ordered additional resources to come into our area post-storm to assist us in what we expect to be a very significant event with significant and severe damage.
Chief, I'm curious about the calls that you've been getting since you shut down at 7 a.m. What are they, and are they hurricane-related largely?
Many of them are medical calls. Several medical calls have been in areas that were under mandatory evacuations. Our entire county was under voluntary, but some areas in the storm surge area were also under mandatory evacuation. We had reports of a house fire. We've had reports of a number of medical incidents. Obviously, a lot of power lines down, lightning strikes, things of that nature that were the less significant as far as life and death. So we're prioritizing any life safety issues in the rescue mission first, and we will deal with the power issues and obviously the property component after we take care of the life safety issues first.
And when do you expect for emergency services to be back in full force and back online?
Once our sustained winds go below 45 miles per hour, we'll continue to monitor with our partners in emergency management where these bands are coming through with wind gusts. Obviously, we don't want to be out there if these winds are gusting at 80 miles an hour, or obviously the tornado threat will continue as well. So we're going to continue to monitor that along with the weather, and once those winds go below a sustained 45, we'll start to go out and be able to affect the rescue components in our community, but we expect that to actually be during the overnight hours. So we really won't get a good assessment until daylight tomorrow morning as to really how bad the community has been damaged or what additional needs might be out there.
And I assume your first priority, those, of course, who are in need of medical help.
That's correct. That's our number one priority, is the life safety and the rescue mission, and then we'll deal with the property damage assessment thereafter.
All right, we want to thank you so much, James Cunningham, who's chief of the North Collier Fire Control and Rescue District. Thank you for joining us, Mr. Cunningham.
Thank you.